Hello everyone, Soberoni of G&A Reviews here, bringing you another event guide. This time we're going to be taking a look at the upcoming Fate Requiem collab event in FGO NA, the board game of the apocalypse. Now this event is going to be available to everyone who's completed Fuyuki, which means even new players can participate and farm it, but this is going to be one of the bigger events we've ever received in FGO, and there are a lot of mechanics to it, so in order to make this video easier to follow, I've included timestamps in the description down below, so you can jump ahead to whichever part of the video you need the most. Now, if you're looking forward to tackling this event and getting that new welfare, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and ring my bell so you can keep up to date with all the latest FGO content and you can help out the channel. But for now, let's take a look at the new event servants. There are going to be 3 new servants dropping with this event. First up, we have the welfare servant or the free servant, Erice. She is a 4-star arts lancer with a max attack of 9,122 and a max HP of 11,991. She has an AoE arts noble phantasm, but despite being AoE, she excels at challenge quests and boss fights. You'll be able to pick her up for free just by completing this event, but we also have 2 limited servants appearing in the gacha. And the first of these gacha servants is Voyager. He's going to be a 5-star foreigner with a max attack of 10,450 and a max HP of 15,592. Voyager has an AoE quick noble phantasm, and he is an excellent Scotty looper who can excel at farming, as well as play a very good crit support role. And the 4-star featured on this banner is going to be Kijo Koyo. She is a 4-star berserker with a max attack of 9,177 and a max HP of 11,250. She is an Ibaraki-like berserker that has a good mix of attack and defensive utility. All in all 3 of them are good pickups, but if you want to know more about any of them in particular, I will have spotlights for each of them available on the channel that will go into much greater detail, so if you want to check those out, those will be linked in the description down below. But for now, let's move on to the event craft essences. As per usual, there are going to be gacha craft essences and shop craft essences for this event. Starting off with the gacha craft essences first, we have the 3-star mixed juice. This craft essence will heal you for 50 HP each turn, and also increase buster card effectiveness by 3%. It'll also increase the house marker drops by 1 for the duration of this event, or 2 if you max limit break it. Outside of the event, this can be a budget CE for a buster DPS, like Kid Gil, David, or Bedivere. Next up, we have the 4-star tournament star, which increases arch card effectiveness by 8% and decreases damage taken by 300. In addition, it'll also increase gem drops for the event by 1 or 2 if you max limit break it, and this can be a useful CE for any kind of art stall servant like Mosh, Uriel, or Luvia. And lastly, for the gacha CEs, we have the 5-star mission start. This craft essence increases arch and quick card effectiveness by 8%, as well as crit damage by 8%, and it grants 40% starting NP charge. For the event, it will also increase the life counter drops by 1 or 2 if you max limit break it. This is actually a pretty good CE even outside of the event that can be useful on any kind of arch or quick servant that specializes in spamming their noble phantasm and critting, like Erice, Kuro, and Diascuti. As for the free shop CE, we have the 5-star Looking Up at the Starry Sky. This craft essence will increase quick card effectiveness by 8%, NP gain by 8%, and generate 3 crit stars every turn. For the event, it will also increase damage of the equipped servant by 100% or 200% if you max limit break it. This is another pretty good CE that works wonders for quick NP spammers that also happen to use crit stars like Voyager, Jack, and Ushi. As for the command codes, we have the 3-star Pale Blue Elysion's command spell, which will increase damage by 10% against undead enemies when attacking with the engraved card. Now this is a super niche anti-undead command code, but it can be useful on servants who have an undead niche like Erice and Summer Martha. For the 4-star command code, we have Cosmos Voyager's License. This command code will generate 2 crit stars when attacking with the engraved card, and it'll also remove 1 poison, curse, or burn debuff when attacking with the engraved card. This can also be useful for star generators like Voyager, Jack, and Fuma. And finally, the 5-star command code is Viva la France, which will increase star absorb on the engraved card by 100%, and it'll also recover the party's HP by 100 when attacking with the engraved card. You're mostly going to want to use this on crit servants who really depend on critting with specific cards like Kagetora, Erice, and Saber Hokusai. The shop for this event will feature 3 different currencies, the bronze currency being the house markers, the silver currency will be the point gems, and the gold currency will be the life counters. You can use the house markers to buy 1 copy of the shop craft essence, as well as 4, 5, and 6 dice, gears, void dust, fangs, 4-star and 3-star foes, and 4-star and 3-star experience. The gems will trade in for another copy of the event shop CE, as well as the 1, 2, 3 dice, reverse dragon scales, seashells, Yggdrasil seeds, saber, assassin, and berserker pieces, and 4-star foes. And the life counters will trade in for 2 copies of the event shop CE, 1 dice, 2 dice, and 3 dice, comet shards, black tallow, aurora steel, saber, assassin, and berserker monuments, and 4-star foes. If you plan on buying out everything in the shop, you're going to need a total of 3,950 house markers, 3,600 gems, and 5,100 life counters. I should also mention that there's only going to be 4 copies of the event CE available in the shop, so if you want to max limit break it, you are going to have to get lucky and get an extra drop while farming. Now let's talk about the event itself. There are quite a lot of mechanics in this event, so it can appear very overwhelming at first glance, and I don't blame anyone for being confused because this is definitely one of FGO's messier events. But I'll try my best to break it down as best as I can. If you have any questions or if you're unclear about how any of these mechanics work though, feel free to ask me for a more detailed explanation in the comments down below. The first and most important mechanic for this event, which everything else is going to revolve around, is the game board. The board game is called Coldplay, and it's basically just a Monopoly board. You're going to roll a dice that you collect from the free quests to move your character around the board, and you're going to receive rewards and new Coldplay quests every time you land on a new space. There are a total of 20 spaces on the board, and you'll need to land on all 20 to unlock all of the Coldplay event quests. Again, think of this as a game of Monopoly where you're just trying to buy every property to win the game. However, you'll notice that each space on the board has 5 diamond-shaped icons above it. Each time you land on a space, one of these icons will go dark, indicating that you landed there, and that will subsequently unlock a quest related to that space. Completing these quests is going to reward you with tokens, which you will need to unlock other quests, but more on that later. Essentially, this means that you're going to need to land on each space multiple times if you want to get everything. The first couple of times that you land on a space, you're going to be rewarded with a token, which is going to be required to beat the event. But the other 3 or 4 times that you land there, you'll usually just be given some bonus ascension mats. So if you're just concerned with story progression, just make sure that you land on each space enough to collect all of the tokens that it has to offer. The amount of tokens on the space is also indicated on the bottom right corner of each square. But now that we know how the board itself works, let's talk about movement, aka the dice. There are 6 types of dice. There's the standard 1 through 6 dice, then we have the 1 through 3 dice, the 4 through 6, and then we have a dice that only rolls 1s, another one that only rolls 2s, and the last one that only rolls 3s. Different types of dice are going to drop from different free quest nodes, so you're going to need to farm them just like you would any other type of event currency. Now, because we're dealing with dice, there is an inherent RNG element to this. Remember that you need to land on every space on the board at least once in order to complete the event. So you'll need to use your dice strategically to ensure that you land on the correct spaces. And finally, in addition to the board game element, there is also a mission list for this event, but it's only a short one. There's only 30 missions and it works just like every other mission-based event, just complete whatever missions are available. Almost all of the missions have to do with using a certain dice X amount of times, or moving a certain amount of spaces, so they're all very easy and quick to do. However, make sure that you do actually do them, because these missions are how you're going to unlock Erice's Ascension mats. Because this event is aimed at newer players, these story missions are not very difficult at all, and most of them can be beaten just by using the available NPC supports. However, it is worth noting that there are sections of the main story that consist of mini challenge quest-like events, where you're going to be forced to bring a particular support and need to use some kind of special gimmick or strategy to win. So make sure you pay attention to whatever the quest is asking you to do, and what buffs or debuffs the the enemies have, because not every quest is as straightforward as just kill the enemy. And just like with other major events, there is also a time lock, so the majority of the event won't be available right away. It'll take a few days before you're able to complete it. In addition to the story quests though, there are also two other types of quests: cold pulley quests and bonus quests. Cold pulley quests are what I mentioned before in the previous section, the ones that you unlock by stepping on spaces in the game board. Every time you step on a new space, one of these cold pulley quests will open up, and beating it will reward you with a token. You'll need these tokens in order to progress through the story and unlock bonus quests. Bonus quests are special quests that only unlock after you reach a certain amount of tokens, or if you get a specific combination of tokens. For example, bonus quest number 2 only unlocks if you have 10 tokens in total, but bonus quest 13 only unlocks if you have a Caster Gill and Odysseus token. Completing these bonus quests not only rewards you with a lot of QP and Ascension mats, but also stuff like event command codes and additional copies of Erice to increase her NP. And speaking of which, in order to completely unlock Erice and max ascend her, you're going to have to make her permanent by clearing the event epilogue. Once you do that, you can get her Ascension mats by completing missions, specifically the missions that require that you obtain 20 tokens, use the 6-sided die 6 times, move 50 spaces on the game board, and clear 5 bonus quests. And you can increase her NP by completing bonus quests number 12 through 15. Thankfully, compared to the rest of the event, farming is actually the easy part. For one thing, there are a number of bonus servants that have damage bonuses for this event, including Erice, Voyager, and Kijo, who all have a 100% damage bonus for this event, Mosh, Emilia Alter, Marie, Nursery Rhyme, and Edison, who all have a 50% damage bonus, and Osakabe Hime, Jinako, Tomoe, Cersei, and Mozart, who have a 30% damage bonus. You can also use the craft essences in this event to improve your farming. The 3-star mixed juice will increase the house marker drops, tournament star will increase the gem drops, and mission start will increase the life counter drops, while the shop craft essence will increase the attack strength of whoever it's equipped to by 100%. The general strategy for this event that I would recommend doing is to roll the friend point gacha for 3-star CEs just to make farming a bit easier. Then you're going to want to purchase the event shop CE from the shop right away, and you should max limit break it if you get an additional drop so that you can get that massive 200% bonus damage. The bonus damage is going to trivialize a lot of fights in this event, especially if you're a newer player, so don't be intimidated by the high HP bars. As for farming itself, the optimal free quests to farm for each item are going to be Twilight Frontier for the house markers, the Great Orbat Battleground for the gems, and Mount Togakushi for the life counters. Keep in mind that these optimal farming nodes do not unlock until later on in the event after the time gate. So for farming before that, you can just farm the beginner, intermediate, and advanced nodes at Akihabara for the markers, gems, and counters respectively. Also for dice farming, all of the stages are going to drop the normal 1 through 6 dice, but Twilight Frontier will also drop the 3 dice and the 1 through 3 dice, Battleground will drop the 2 dice and the 4 through 6 dice, and Togakushi will drop the 1 dice and the 1 through 3 dice, so make sure to farm depending on what you need. In order to unlock the challenge quest for this event, you're actually going to have to clear everything. So not only just the story, but all of the bonus quests as well, and also collecting all the tokens. The challenge quest itself isn't too difficult though. Basically, you're going to be up against Erice and a ghost. Erice is going to have an unremovable buff that reduces damage done to her significantly if there's a ghost on the field. So the objective is going to be to kill the ghost and then deal as much damage to Erice as possible before she can summon another one. If you break her break bar while a ghost is on the field, she'll also decrease your party's max HP. So make sure to always kill the ghost before breaking Erice's break bars. You'll want to bring an AoE servant for this fight, that way you can kill the ghost while still dealing good damage to Erice in the same turn. So AoE saber servants like Artoria, Mordred, and Altera are going to be great here, as are AoE Zerkers like Arjuna Alter, Reiko, and Lancelot. Erice does have a huge HP pool, so make sure that you bring your Event Shop CE, preferably max limit broken, so that you can maximize your damage for this fight. In terms of support, bring someone who can stun Erice and drain her Noble Phantasm gauge. You'll want to stall her out to prevent her from summoning more ghosts, as well as from using her Noble Phantasm, which can instant kill you. So Waver is perfect for this, as is Tamamo. And that's about it for this event. I know it's a little convoluted, but to keep it simple, just make sure you land on as many spaces as possible for the game board. You'll want to land on each space at least once. Collect the tokens that you get from the spaces to unlock the bonus missions and progress the story. Make sure you do the missions, and don't forget that you can farm for the specific dice that you need from the free quests. So if you get stuck trying to land on one particular space, just farm for whatever dice you need from the appropriate quest. And if you have any questions about the event, feel free to ask me in the comments down below. As always, if this video helped you or you enjoyed it, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps out the channel, and you can stay up to date with all of the FGO videos and spotlights that I put out. If you haven't already, do join the party over in our Discord, follow us on Twitch, and follow us on Twitter, all linked in the description down below. And until next time, this is Soberoni signing out. Later.